Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beauty School Bobbi podcast. Today, I just finished recording with Siiri Parks, who I have had on the show a few times. I've known Siiri for many years now, and we always get to see each other at America's Beauty Show. That is the one time of year that we know that we are going to be reunited. And this year, Siiri will not be at the show, but for very good reason. Siiri is about to give birth to her first child, and she is due right around the time of America's Beauty Show. So although she's not going to be there in person this year, it is still super important that she is a part of the show. And we want to make her feel for sure that she is not missing out, even though she's going to be so missed. We got to talk about everything motherhood. We got to talk about everything that she has gone through so far in this pregnancy journey. And she really opened up about what this path has been for her so far. One of my favorite things about the role that I have in this industry is that I get to see so much growth and so much life change. And getting to talk about that with Siiri was so much fun. I really loved our conversation. And when we got to talk about her career path and what it looks like now versus what it used to look like, or what is next for her. So this episode is so fun, although I am seriously so sad that I can't even imagine going to America's Beauty Show and Siiri not being there. I know that Siiri is going to be so a part of our story this year, even. And, Siiri is talking about how the outfits and the looks and all of the things. And we want to make sure that Siiri is still included in all of that. So we'll definitely make sure that whether FaceTime calls are able to happen, or just somehow to still include her, because I know how hard it feels when you're pregnant and you already feel so different and life feels so different and you just want things to be normal. And so when those normal things are not able to happen, it can definitely feel so isolating, even though it's for the best reason possible. But if you want an even deeper look into the life of Siiri Parks, I think this episode is so good. And not only do we talk about pregnancy and motherhood, we talk a lot about how you navigate change in the beauty industry and how careers can change and look different. And from, Siiri really being one of the first hair influencers, how it looks different now and what it's going to look like in the future. We talk about classes that she wants to teach when she does come back to teaching. But I know that there's no way to plan for anything that motherhood brings into your life, that you really are just kind of along for the ride. So I know that we'll be watching and excited for whenever she is able to return. But it was just really great to spend time with Siiri today. Siiri always just makes me smile so big. And I hope that you really feel like you get more time with Siiri than maybe you would on social media in short form videos. Like this is, I just feel like every time we talk, it's the real Siiri, and so much of what you know of her, it's all still the same, but we just get to talk a little deeper, and you really get to see her heart and just how amazing that Siiri is as a person. So I hope that you love this episode. Like I said, seeing all of these people that have come into our lives like so many years ago just change and get to go through this with them. It's something that I love so much. And even, talking after or texting through this pregnancy, it's just been so great to be a part of it and to really get to share and encourage and just know that what is to come is going to be so good. I know that that's something that Mark and I know just from our own experience, that it's always so different than you think it's going to be. And until, your children are here and you're going through all of these moments of life with them, that there's not really much planning that you can do, or if you do, it often goes a different way. So this was fun to talk to Siiri about. It's so encouraging. And like I said, if you want to really see kind of what this path looks like, this is really a great episode. So I hope you love it as much as I did. And I hope at the end of the episode, you will rate, review, subscribe, make sure that you share this episode. Like I said, I think this is one that a lot of people will be able to relate to, and just welcoming Siiri into this new phase of life is really wonderful. So I hope you love it. If you're a beauty school owner or educator listening right now, I want to share something we actually use inside of our school, Beautista. Placement tracking has become one of the hardest parts of running a school. Between spreadsheets, emails, binders, and chasing down employment updates, it can get overwhelming fast. And on top of that, marketing your school and showing real student outcome matters more than ever. That's why we implemented Beautista. Beautista is a portfolio-first career platform built specifically for the beauty industry. Instead of graduating with just a resume, our students build professional digital portfolios that salons can discover and hire from. Beautista supports over 130,000 plus beauty professionals and partners with schools across the country. At the same time, it helps us modernize placement tracking and keep career outcomes organized and in one place. It's not just a hiring tool, it's a marketing tool. When prospective students can see real portfolios, real engagement, and real career momentum, that changes the enrollment conversation. And beyond placement, Beautista hosts over 1,200 live free classes and mentorship experiences just this year with top educators and brands, so students keep growing, building confidence, and staying connected long after graduation. If you want to modernize placement, elevate your student marketing, and give your graduates a real competitive edge, head to Beautista.com and check it out today. Hey everyone, welcome back to Beauty School Bobbi. Today we are here with Siiri Parks. Siiri, I am so excited that we are getting to see you, at least virtually, because this is going to be my first year in maybe since the first year I went to ABS that I'm not going to get to hug you there, but for good reason. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, I will definitely miss it, but believe me, I will be stalking every single one of your social medias to keep up with what's going on.
I cannot believe that we are even saying this, but you're weeks away from having your first baby. I feel like everyone has been on this journey with you. You all have shared so much about your pregnancy journey. And I'm so thankful that you've been able to share that because I feel like we've been going through all this with you. But last time we were together, you were so nauseous, so sick at an event. We're shoving goldfish to you, just try to eat something. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling so much better. And I think back to that time quite often because I'm so grateful that it hadn't hit me as much as it definitely did later on. That was just the start of it. I was still able to get on stage. I was still able to, fulfill my obligations. But then as soon as I got home, I was bedbound for the next 3 months. I couldn't even imagine going to the mailbox to get mail, nonetheless going on stage and talking to all of the beautiful people. So I'm glad that I was able to catch a break that day. And, looking back on it, it's all for just the most beautiful purpose in the world. And I would do it all over again.
Yes. And you made nobody knew that you were feeling bad. You really did put that face on and just push through to still make everyone feel so loved and welcome when they were meeting you. And you did so great on stage. So I think it's so funny because you're going to look back when she's here and be you were there with me. You were with me at this stuff and you start those memories stay with you as being oh no, that was actually your first time on stage or that was your first time. And it's
that was
just
your first hair show.
Yeah. And when she's actually out and gets to be there, it's even more special. But I know that some of the friends that you have that have been on this path with you have gone down this road already. So I feel like that makes it it has to make it a little less scary for you because I think that you can look and be okay, this is kind of what it'll be like. I can still do this. She can go with me. It does give you confidence a little bit, I think, right?
Yeah, it definitely, I think with this being my first child, I have zero basis of comparison, and you see so many different outlooks and lived experiences from so many different people on the internet. And for some people, it is life has to stop at this moment and it has to be 100% child. And that scared me because of course I want to devote 100% of my time, energy, and love into my child. But I also grew up in a very different tax bracket. So a part of me being able to confidently decide to bring a child into the world was the fact that I feel so sound and safe in my career. So I was how am I going to balance these things? And like you said, I have friends that are in this career that are behind the chair, that are salon owners, that are educators, that travel around the same hair shows that I do. And I mean, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. None of us do, but they don't seem to miss a beat, and they've seemed to incorporate like their two loves together, hair and their family. And so it absolutely gives me hope for what I'll be able to accomplish with Koa and Jordan.
Yes, and we're so excited to see all of it. I think that so many of us, like I said, have watched this journey and are just so happy to see that you are healthy and Koa is healthy and you guys are just rolling right along and again weeks away from her being here. And I know it's crazy that it's all lining up at the time of America's Beauty Show, because that is an event that I know you look forward to every year. We look forward to seeing you there every year. It's a place where we met. It's the place where I really feel like I've seen you grow so much. And so to know that this is all happening around that time, it just feels so special. It feels like this is when she was meant to come into the world. And that it's just like always a good season of life anyway. So I think there's just a lot of positivity around that too. How are you feeling about having to miss it? How are you feeling? Because these are very real emotions and things that we deal with as moms. And I think that it's good to talk about like, yeah, you have to miss and you have to prioritize sometimes. How are you feeling about it right now?
Gosh, I, on one hand, like I'm devastated because this was the first hair show that I was ever a part of. It was the first hair show that I ever taught at. It was the first hair show that brought um, so many different parts of hair talk together. So I'm having some serious FOMO, both professionally and personally. But like you said, it's such a beautiful reason that I'm missing it. And I don't think that I would miss it for anything else on the planet, but for Koa, absolutely.
Bailey and I were talking about how like if Koa is born around, we're all going to be just like on our phones, like waiting for the updates, and we're all going to be like, "Hang on one second, we got to see what's happening with the baby." Like it's going to be insane. But I know you're going to be so missed. But I love that your spirit is there, and you're still a part of all of this. It's not like you're not a part of the group, not a part of what's happening. Like ABS has been great about being like, no, we still want to like talk to Siiri, include Siiri, like make her a part of it. And I think that just goes to show that like there is this fear that your life will stop. And like you even said, like, how am I going to balance all of this? And I think the one thing that I will say is that you do just kind of figure it out in your own way and you figure out what is going to work for you. Because once she's here, then it's going to be like, okay, that's when you'll realize, what can I do? What can I do? I mean, we've all as parents done this. Like Mark and I brought Will and Finley with us to the first America's Beauty Show that we went to. And then we were like, oh, wait, we don't really get to see them. And it wasn't that fun for them because they're not, and so like you try things and then you're like, okay, wait, it's better if we just do this, like grandparents taking care of them and they're all good. But I know that you're going to figure out what works for you, but it's hard to prioritize that. And then at different stages also, like I think that you will just put more of a priority maybe than you did before, where it was so easy for you and Jordan to just hop on a plane and go. You just have to be a little pickier about what you say yes to. But I think that that's part of growth. And I think it's actually really positive to do that anyways.
Yeah. Jordan and I have already like been working on how we're going to navigate certain situations, whether it's traveling professionally or traveling personally, because we are avid travelers. And we have been figuring out like how we're going to navigate just like like germs and exposure and all kinds of different things. And we don't think that by any means life has to stop. It's just, it's going to look different. Like there's still going to be a routine. It's just going to be a new routine.
Yes. And I think also then when you do have those moments where it gets to be just the two of you and you take those trips, you're going to be like, what did we even do before? Like, how did we fill our time? Because the days feel so long when your kids aren't with you. You're like one day, because there's so much going on when you're a parent, and you're just constantly, especially in those early months, you're like, oh, she needs this, she needs that. We're doing like her routine. And then when you get even just a night away, you're like, that felt like a week.
We something that I've been discussing with a lot of people, again, because of lack of basis of comparison. I am very fortunate that I, make income from so many different outlets in life. So I definitely have content creation to fall back on while I'm on maternity leave, but I love what I do. So I am eager to get back behind the chair, not lose that muscle memory, like see my people, continue to create. And I have been trying to figure out how long I'm going to need, which obviously I won't know until I'm at that point. I don't know what postpartum looks like. However, um, pregnancy brain is really taking control of me right now. I remember what I was saying. However, much to your point of like, what did we even do before her? Like when I think about it, I don't know her yet. I don't know what she looks like, but when I think about me returning to work from maternity leave, like I miss her already.
Yes, it's so hard, but like you said, you love what you do. So I think that that's key, and you have different ways to do this. What has your experience been like working still through all of this? What has it been like as a hairstylist? Your body changing, you feeling like crap, having to like what has that been like for you?
Luckily, unluckily, years ago when COVID first started, I lost my smell for 2 years, and when it came back, it never came back quite the same. So there are a lot of people who have asked me, like, do the fumes from the lightener or from, people around you doing perms or from color, like, do any of that bother you? And I really can't smell it, so that hasn't bothered me yet. I definitely have realized that much to what I've been teaching in classes in the past about taking breaks, getting off your feet, feeding yourself is more important now than ever, but that's a practice that I need to continue to practice after Koa is born because I genuinely do feel better throughout the day, like making sure that I'm drinking enough water and eating while color is processing. And I have also invested, well, my mom, for Christmas, she got me a saddle seat that I was eyeing. So now I sit about 80% of my day, but I feel so energized at the end of it. Like, obviously, my energy levels are low because I've been talking and I've just been giving so much of myself, but my feet, they're not aching and my back doesn't hurt as bad. So I think that the saddle seat will be something that I still continue to use once she's here.
It's funny how it makes you like becoming a mom and your body going through all of this really does put some healthy practices into place. And I love that you said you need to remember to try to carry all of that on. It'll be the thing that like forces you to do it, although you'll be distracted for sure. I know that Jordan is such a good support for you. And I mean, Mark will still remind me, like send me texts like, hey, don't forget to eat. Hey, don't, like it's just one of those things that you just have to have people around you that know what the challenges are to remind you and help you through all of that. What has it been like online for you? How has it been sharing this part of your story? Does it feel different than the content you were sharing before? Has it opened up new relationships? How like do you regret sharing stuff online? How do you what are you thinking now that you're almost about to have the baby? What are you thinking about that?
That is a loaded question. I don't regret sharing our experience online because we've helped a lot of people kind of figure out first steps. But we have tried to be very sensitive to other people's journeys because Jordan and I obviously have a lack of anatomy to create a child. So that's why we did IVF. And a lot of people who do IVF are either in the same boat as us or they are battling infertility and they need that extra help. So we have kind of been able to be the first stop in, telling people to have a consultation with the clinic that they have vetted, see if they are friendly to whatever needs this couple is going through or this person is going through, and telling them about how like some different states offer different discounts depending on like what career you're in and so on and so forth, and like the medication that we did. We just try to be very realistic about how like we can't relate to everyone's experience, so we try to be very sensitive to that, very realistic to that, very open to our journey. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and there have been a lot of people who have said that we've like helped them figure out where to start, because that can be very challenging for a lot of people, and that can be what hinders them from doing anything in life, is because you don't know where to start, so you don't approach it at all because it's scary. So that feels really good. Sometimes I regret sharing things on the internet because I don't know, motherhood like can pull the best and worst sides out of people. So as much love and community that we have become a part of, we've also gotten a lot of unsolicited advice, or not even advice, just like, you need to do this. And it's like, whoa, calm down. But overall, I definitely don't regret sharing our experience, because now I'm part of a different community. So many different communities, because they're all within one big community and they're sub communities. So whereas, excuse me, for a long time I was just part of like beauty talk or hair talk, now I'm a part of mom talk, now I'm a part of IVF talk, now I'm a part of so many different talks and so many different communities online, and I've made friends with people, and people have made us blankets, and actually the internet bought out our registry, like out of the kindness of their hearts, and we never expected that. People just kept asking, and I was like, maybe if someone wants to get like a box of diapers, but then within days, like the whole thing was cleared out, and downstairs we have like all of the cards written out that we need to mail to everyone to thank them from the bottom of our hearts. But oh, I'm gonna cry. Like, these people know that we're not putting Koa on the internet. They know that, like, essentially I am just a stranger that they watch. But at the same time, it goes to show that, like, it takes a village. And this internet community that I've somehow managed to build is such a generous and loving community, and they are part of my village, and Koa has no idea like how much she's adored at all.
Yeah. It's so sweet to think about that. And it is, I was wondering, because I haven't talked to you about this part, but I was wondering how that's going, like with the moms, like how you all have, again, you were Siiri Parks, hair, beauty, all the things. And now I know that a lot of people that are watching your content now they're not there for the hair, they're there. And I'm sure that they've loved it and are picking up on that, which is awesome for the industry. It's awesome to share that awareness and to inform and educate people about, what this really looks like, what this world looks like. But I know that side of it can be hard. I can't imagine, because you are so great about being honest about how you're feeling and what's been going on and all of that stuff. And it's just so hard to do. Like, even for the bravest people, that's not easy to do, because this is something that is like, one moment you will feel great and the next moment you feel terrible. And I'm sure filming was maybe sometimes the last thing that you wanted to do. But you like committed to it and you're like, I'm going to do it. So I love that you stuck to it and were able to gain support. And I think it's really beautiful that you've been able to receive that love and to be like, this is just so generous, because there are people that you're helping just by sharing your story, right? Like, that's the beauty of the internet, and the people that you can meet that you never would have met before, or heard their experience or been a part of their experience. So it is opening you up to this whole new world, which I'm thankful for you, because I know how much support you're going to need after. And like, that doesn't stop just because, you're pregnant. Like, you need that so much after too. So I'm really happy that that's been positive for you and Jordan, and that, that you're staying on like the positive side of it.
Trying as hard as we can. There are a lot of people. I don't give me too much credit, Bobbi, because there are a lot of people who talk about like pregnancy rage that they experienced, and I can say I don't have pregnancy rage, but I have like pregnancy irritation, and the farther along I get, I just tell Jordan, I'm like, I'm too pregnant for public right now, because like, what is happening? I just kind of find myself in like existential RBF, and I'm like, Siiri, this is not who you are. You need to go home.
Well, it will come back. Like, that part goes away a little bit, but it comes back in a different way, where you're like so protective. And then you're seeing the world through, what do you want for Koa, and what do you want the world to look like for her? And then you have this whole other thing that you're like, oh my gosh, I never would have gotten upset about this before. But now it's like, this is her world and I need to make it right. Like there's different sides of it, which is the journey of life, right? Like we're just figuring out. And I think the main thing is that you and Jordan are so good and will stay good. And that's what's going to be so beautiful for her and for both of you. So what has been, what was the hardest part of all of this? Was it the nausea, the sickness, the just exhaustion? Is that what has hit you the hardest?
I feel like I cried on your on this last time too. Um, Trigger warning, I don't know if we need to do that. I was so sick in the beginning and all of the different medication that they had me on. I I had hyperemesis gravidarum for the first 16 weeks of my pregnancy, so it wasn't your general like morning sickness. I had all day sickness. I would wake up like choking on my own throw up. I lost almost 40 pounds at the beginning. Um, I had like busted blood vessels in my eyes and around my eyes from how violently I was throwing up. My pee was like the color of amber, and I was only going once a day, and I was hospitalized 3 times. I fainted in the lobby of the emergency room one time. They put me on so many different medications and none of them worked for me. Like, quite literally, none of them worked for me. And we had a nurse coming to our house and giving me IV fluids to try to hydrate me. And I was in like ketosis as well. And it was just one thing after another. And on top of that, I hemorrhaged for 3 months, which I was told was normal. And because we were doing IVF, we were having like weekly appointments. So they, would hear her heartbeat and they would assure us. And then one day I woke up and just for that day, all of my symptoms were gone, but there was blood everywhere. And we have a neighbor who we're good friends with, and she had a friend staying with her who's a midwife, and she did an external ultrasound, and it was still too early to see, but from what she saw, it looked like a collapsed sac. So as miserable as I was, and like every day I just prayed for anything to make me feel better, like God do something. That day when I thought I lost her, I it like hit me and I was like, I didn't mean that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the hardest thing was like feeling as terrible as I did and then like unintentionally being as selfish as I was, like wanting it to end. And now I just look back on it and I could not imagine like her not being about to be here in a few weeks if she would have not been there anymore.
Yeah. It's so hard. And I mean, you never know what your pregnancy is going to be like. I mean, I think for so long, we're all so focused. And like you said, everyone has a different path and a different story of how you get there. And you're like so focused on the how we get there. And then when it happens, you're like, okay, so happy, right, that it's happening. But then it's not easy.
Yeah, like
And just,
real life hits you. Like all
yeah.
the things that you never knew are now happening. And you're like, wait a
Mhm.
minute, like I knew that women got morning sickness, but I didn't know that they got sick like this. Like so many so many things that I didn't know could happen did happen. And I mean, like I said at the beginning, I would do it all over again if it resulted in COA 100%. But yeah.
Yeah, you don't know what it's going to be like for you. And then you're trying to still be you, like you're still Siiri and you're still like going through all the things in your head and I don't think it's selfish. I think it's very like normal to be like, well, you're still yourself, but you're carrying this thing and it's all so hard. You just didn't have an easy path, by any means. But like you said, we are weeks away from her being here and it weirdly is one of those things where it's not that you forget it, but you're just like so focused on this new thing that you're distracted. So the light is so close. And then you have to remind yourself of just like what a warrior you are. Like nothing felt like I was never like, oh, like girls can do anything, like all that stuff. But like after you have kids, I'm like, man, like we can do anything, it like just really like makes you proud of yourself and makes you feel like there's still moments in mine are 12 and 8 that when I have to do hard things or I have to like, I'm like, I gave birth, like I can do anything, and I feel like we all have different like moments to look back on. And that's, going to be a piece of your life that you're going to remember and look back on. And again, you've had such amazing support and so thankful for that. And like I said, when we saw you, you look great. Like you look so healthy, so good. This is like, and I know that I'm just like so excited for this baby also, but I'm like, this is like the best Siiri. Like this is like the best version. And I'm like, I know you're not going to be pregnant soon, but I'm like, I love this. And like being a part of you becoming a mom and going down this path already. Like I just couldn't be more excited about it. And it's like I said, such a good positive reason that we are not going to get to see you in person. But the idea that when we do get to see you next time, it is going to be with her is just makes me so, so, so happy. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hey, beauty students and educators. I'm excited to share that Beauty School Bobbi is now supported by BeautyCast Network, your go-to career services and placement platform for the beauty industry. Free to schools, educators, and students, BeautyCast Network connects you with top artists, influencers, and educators who inspire and empower the next generation of pros. From webinars and newsletters to virtual career showcases, competitions, and scholarship pop-ups, the platform is packed with tools to build non-technical skills, encourage career readiness, and help students launch amazing careers as they approach their graduation date. Learn more at beautycastnetwork.com to help your students thrive and take their career to the next level. Now back to the episode. I know you had mentioned that you don't know kind of like when you're going to go back. And I love that you haven't set a timeline for yourself because I think that's really important to, take the time, see how you feel. But when you're thinking about things right now, what looks different? Is it less time? Is it more time? Like, have you considered kind of what you want it to look like in that first couple of years?
In the first couple of years, hair is my passion, and so many of the companies that I work with revolve around me being a hairstylist. So I think all things point to, in some capacity, I have to like stick with it. Luckily, I still have the drive and the want and the love for this career. I do think that my weeks will look different. I won't be like full time behind the chair anymore. My days will, be more limited so that I can be at home with her and see milestones and spend time with her during such important periods of her life. But I definitely want to try as hard as I can to find a good work life balance. And I think a large part of that, so that I don't unintentionally create burnout, because I know that I am going to be exhausted from being a new mom and also being at work and being a content creator, is to really prioritize the appointments that sing to me and bring me joy, instead of just taking everything that comes my way that like isn't speaking to me. So that way it is easy to return on the days that I've scheduled myself, versus me being like, oh, gosh, I really just don't want to do this.
What is the one thing that you're like missing or looking forward to kind of like going back to? Is it that time with clients? 'Cause I know have you been like pushing harder right now, or are you already kind of like tapering off a little bit from being behind the chair?
So I feel like I've actually been pushing harder because I have so much nesting energy, but I immediately got that nesting energy back, or got that nesting energy like once my HG fortunately went away. So I'm sorry if you can hear that obnoxious plane. And I've we already have her room done, hospital bags packed. We've been like redoing the sunroom. So there's only so much that I can do around here. So I've put it into being at work. And we moved here almost 2 years ago, so I've been like rebuilding my clientele. And now, because I want something to return back to after I return from maternity leave, I've really been like taking on new clients and building new relationships and getting them rescheduled and doing like lived in looks so that they can go for a little bit. And I also have video obligations with different companies. So like I feel like I've actually been working more now prior to when I was like prior to pregnancy.
Yeah, there is that push at the end where you're like, there's so much to do and so much to get done, and you're excited about it. And so I think like I was actually thinking that that's probably, you know, the route that you were going. And like I said, you'll just figure out how to schedule and how to juggle. But I think that the important, you know, piece of this conversation too is to know that like the career changes a little bit, you know, and that's okay. I mean, this is an industry that is 98% female. So when it, and I know that everyone with different partners and different roles and everyone's relationship looks different for what who's doing what in the relationship with the baby. Like I think that it is important to talk about the way that that changes, and it's so positive in this industry that we are able to work and maneuver our schedules and to do things differently, because I know that in a lot of careers that's not the case. And so with it being so female dominant in this, you know, the pregnancy journey and all that stuff, I know from my experience in the salons and students that I've seen graduates go through all of this, I know that it seems like their clients are even more loyal because they're like a part of this with you know, and they're excited to hear updates about the baby. And it really, I think, makes those relationships with your clients sometimes even stronger because they're seeing this life change with you and do feel a part of it. And so I'm excited for you to go through all that. I mean, you're going to spend your entire days talking about Koa.
Well, I already do. And I've already made so many mom friend, like, you know, obviously, anytime a client is in my chair, they're more than welcome to talk about whatever they want. And I'm just a sounding board. I'm just lost in painting their hair and trying to get this color on. But now I have one more thing to relate to so many people on, and I've made mom friends with some of the clients that I've taken, and now we're like friends on Facebook. And one of them today messaged me, and she was like, I predict that Koa's actually going to come at this time, and we have a tentative appointment scheduled prior to Koa's planned arrival. And it's just been such a joy. And I don't know, it's just being part of the community is wonderful. And much to your point about like becoming closer with people, there were so many things that I couldn't relate with certain people on in the past because I was like, I don't know, I haven't been there, I haven't done that. But now sometimes I am able to text, you know, one of my friends like Meg at 10 o'clock at night and be like, is this normal? And she's like, yeah, actually it is. And I'm like, okay, cool.
What a gift to have Meg as like your I mean, I have loved watching her go into this mom mode, go into like what she's posting and sharing and all of this, like to have her, because whether she I think she is really this way because I know her, but just the calm, relaxing, like chill, like I was so opposite as a new mom. And I'm like, man, if I would have had that to look at, like, man, maybe it really would have helped me, you know? Like
Well, I
it's
think and asked her what her secret was. I was like, Meg, this is your first child and you are so nonchalant. Like nothing is phasing you. And she was like, oh, I nannied when I was younger, so I'm used to. And I'm like, okay, see, I like up until my 20s was not even around children. I'm the only child in my family. Like I'm scared.
you're gonna be so so great. About beauty industry stuff, what are you excited about right now about kind of like getting either back into after, or is there something happening in the industry right now that you're watching, excited about, or being like, I want to talk about this, teach about this? I mean, I know your classes are going to be different after this just because of your experience, but is there anything that's kind of top of mind right now?
Um, I think I'm kind of working on something about go being your own boss, like managing your own socials, becoming a salon suite owner, what all that entails, work-life balance. And I think that I will have a lot more to add to it once Koa is here, because then I'll be able to be like, okay, everything I just said is out the window and this is what you actually do. Because there have been so many people, I think that it's, I don't want to say a fad, but it's all the rage right now to, you know, have a suite or booth rent. And you see so many people straight out of beauty school kind of taking that plunge, and it can be terrifying. But at the same time, it can be so much more lucrative, like instantaneously right off the bat. And then I think too, also just telling everyone about continued education, because I don't think I would have felt that confident in jumping into salon suite ownership had I not continued education after the fact. A lot of people think that like once school stops, learning stops, and that's not the case. That's not how you advance in this career. And then I have a lot to say about social media, and I also have a little deal going on in the works with hair specifically. I can't wait to showcase that. I don't think I'm allowed to say anything right now, but just know it does have to do with hair that you wear.
Awesome.
It's very exciting. And just off the top of my brain, getting back to educating like that, I think I am more eager to getting back to talking to people and connecting with people, even more so than I am returning behind the chair after maternity leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we're all excited for that also. We're all excited for you to be to see what changes, you know, what is different about your classes, what are you going to be talking about? Because again, even through all of this, I mean, you're still growing as a stylist, you're still different than the person that you were, you know, the year before. And I think it's healthy for I really, really believe that you all sharing that growth is really important. And again, you have another year under your belt. It'll be, you know, a year and a half or whatever, whenever that is, 2 years or whenever that is, you know, you just have more experience. And I think that's what's so great about what you do is that you are able to now share that. Like the what I wish I would have known. I don't know if it's just getting older, if this is like one, because I'm so much older than you all even, but that is the stuff that I think really matters, or the stuff
Hardly.
that the students know. What?
Hardly. You are hardly older than us.
Well, I just feel like let me just say that I think like mom wise, like, I don't know. I do feel older. I
You're
don't
like the
know.
cool older sister for sure. Like
Okay.
you have lived life, you have experiences. You can be like, "Hey, girl, been there, done that." Maybe you don't want to, but like you're the cool older sister.
Thank you. That means seriously, Mark, clip that. That's what I want. Is that that Siiri saying that I'm the cooler sister? Okay, that's the real. No, but I think that it's so awesome that it's not, because you know, and you and I have talked about this like privately, but you know that like you all being the hair talk influencers, right? Like it was a what's going to happen with this. There's not a path set yet that it's like you do this and this and this and then this, you know. And I think you all speaking on it and being like, this is it. And because we have so many people, and this is like what you know I talked about, but I meet with so many people in the high schools that are like, you know, I want to be, you know, I say your name or we show a picture and they are like, you know, Siiri, like that is like the best thing. And I'm like, first of all, angel on earth. And I think that being able to now speak to what that looks like and being like, here's the reality of it. And here is what I wish I knew. This is actually what it looks like. But you're so good about being honest about everything online anyways. Like it would not have worked to be like fake about it and then teach a class about it. And that's what I'm happy that you never did that. I'm so happy that you stayed so true to your path, so true to what you're doing, because it is a career option now. And it wasn't when you started. You know what I mean? Like you really have like paved this way. So you are the one that needs to speak on it and be, you know, honest about it. And I'm so excited just because I know how many people that I just interact with on the daily that are looking up to you and they want to do what you do. So I'm excited for that.
Well, thank you. It is very exciting, and I do feel very blessed that I have been able to find a different path to take in this career that has still kept me in part of this career. And I, I mean, if I can make like one difference in someone's life to keep them in this career and let them know that it doesn't have to be cookie cutter, then that's just made my day being able to make one difference.
Yes. Well, you're definitely doing that for sure. And I know you will continue to do that because of just how amazingly sweet you are and just how much you love people. And I think at the heart of it, that's what this has always been about for you. So to be able to share that and I love watching the way that you're moving through this. And like I said, even just seeing the way that the brand deals and the everything that you've been able to that you're still doing, that you're still navigating while being a stylist and while being pregnant and about to have a child. I mean, all of it is incredible. And I know you're probably not there yet, but I know that there will be a moment in 5 years where you look back and you're like, I just don't know how I even did it. But it was, saying yes to the right things. You're so smart about, who you align with. That's super important. I think that's one thing that I really, try to tell the students a lot is like, you have to trust your gut on who you align with because opportunities are given to you even if you don't have the followers that you have or whatever. There's opportunities, but what do you say yes to? And that's where I think all of this change that's happening right now within your life really is going to be even more important. It's going to be even more important that the things that you say yes to, like you really stand behind and that you're confident about, and it's just going to make you grow in different ways. So I think you're going to align even more after all of this.
Thank you. Yeah, I something that I've been trying to expand my vocabulary, and so for a while there was this thing on my phone where it was like word of the week and it would tell you some new word and I would incorporate it into my vocabulary. And so these are two words that I already knew, don't worry. But my word of the moment right now, my words of life right now are integrity and intention. And I think that that's very important when in any career that you're in or when you're faced with any challenge or decision, being very intentional about it, what your intentions are behind doing it, what their intentions are behind wanting to work with you, and the integrity that goes into it too, because like you could be offered something for a dollar sign, but you might not align with that company um emotionally or ethically. And I think that there's just so much more that goes into doing what we do virtually than so many people like recognize. And when you really open people up to it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. And something that I've been very upfront about is that I'm not willing to sell myself for a dollar sign, no matter what that means, like Koa's future looks like, because I would rather her have a mom that she respects that can still provide for her in different ways than one who sold herself and her integrity just so that she could make a few extra bucks.
Yeah. Well, were there points? Because I mean, how long? I mean, is it 4 years, 5 years that you would consider yourself like an influencer? In all of the positive ways that that word is used. Like, is that like how long you would say that you've been in that part of the industry?
In terms of, I would say at least like the past 4 years, because I've had a good following, but when I finally started to get recognized by companies, get recognized by people in public, when different people were wanting to like work with me or send me things, I would probably say like 2022 is when it turned into something that I was like, oh, this could be a job. I can make a living from doing this. And then it became very planned and organized, and I started paying attention to my analytics and figuring out how to do things or what the right thing was, which I will tell you guys now is actually so difficult because the algorithm of all platforms is ever changing. So you have to be malleable, you have to be able to keep up with the times, and there are some times that I've absolutely missed the mark and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm getting left behind.
Well, you haven't made like those, I think that failure is something that's so scary, especially when it's publicly, right? Like it's one thing to be like, oh, I have this idea, but I've only talked to Mark about it. So if we don't do it, then who cares? But when it's something that is out there to everybody and you say that you're going to do something or whatever that is, what do you think? And I think it's so important to take those risks. Like, I think that the people that are like, oh, I don't know, overanalyze. Like you can't be that way either. You can't be like say yes to everything, but you do, there's risk involved in all of it. Who helped you navigate all of that? Who is your person that you kind of is your sounding board for the business things, or is it you? Is it integrity? Is it you following what fits Siiri? What does that look like?
My mom has been a key player in a lot of things. She's very supportive, but she's also like very realistic. So sometimes she can build me up, and other times she can like bring me down a notch, a very much needed notch. And then, you know, I think having a good partner or a good community is extremely important, and I am lucky that I have both, because Jordan will be there for me for through the times where I'm feeling like scatterbrained or like stressed about whether or not something is performing well or if my numbers are low lately, and just remind me that things ebb and flow and fluctuations are normal, and not to lose my head, and that it's okay, and that like we've got this. And then Marky, she teaches a social media class. I can't remember the specific name about it. It's like just post it. And when we first met, like I am still very intentional about my posting, but when we first met, I was so calculated. Like I had to post several times a day at these specific times a day. I had to only post Karen content. I had to only post aesthetically pleasing content. I had to only post things that I knew would perform well. And like I was talking about earlier, in terms of creating burnout for myself behind the chair, I was creating burnout for myself in front of the camera, because I was doing things simply so that they would perform well, simply for numbers, and it was no longer fun to me. Whereas when I started doing all of this, it was very fun. I was following like viral trends. I was keeping up with people. I was acting like I was 20 when I was 24 and way too old to be doing something. Like I was having fun. And Marky was like, I don't care. I just post it. Like I don't care if it does well. Like who cares? And I was like, really? And next thing you know, I just started posting whatever I wanted in that moment. I was still very intentional about posting what I knew performed well, so that my numbers could continue to increase, so that I could continue to build on platforms and, continue to escalate in this career. But then I was also continuing to have fun with it, so that I didn't resent doing something that I am so fortunate to be able to get paid to do. And sometimes they don't perform well, and other times they will surprise you, like those 7-second videos that you just pulled out of thin air that you had fun with. This little trend that you followed has 7 million views, and you gain however many followers for it, and the comments are just like hyping you up. And it was something that in a past life you would have been like, oh, this is stupid, I'm not going to post this, it's not going to do well. So I feel like so many different people have helped me from so many different angles, and I'm very grateful.
Yeah, it's so important to follow that. And I love that that's what you're going to be able to speak on now. Like I said, in the future, and the classes are going to look different. And I'm excited about that part, because I think, again, it looks easy, right? When you just see it online for 7 seconds or 20, you're just looking at this part of your life. And I know that there's so many other pieces of your life that you're juggling, as well as just trying to live in this world right now, which is like hard enough, like it's hard enough to be like living every day. Like
Yeah.
I really think that still, being you and following your gut is really important. And like I said, I don't think people always realize that there's, so much more to it. And because this path wasn't set for you, it wasn't, okay, you're gonna graduate beauty school and this and this, and then you're on an education team, and then eventually you're on the stage, and then eventually it was all like here it's all happening all at once. And I am so thankful to have watched all of this and to continue to be just blown away by you. And just so thankful for everything that you are. And I could cry thinking about just what's next for you. Like I've tried when we've texted not to be like, oh, it's just going to be great. Like, just push through it. Like, it's going to be so good. I'm like, no, I know it sucks and it's so hard. And like, I hate this for you. And I want, all of the goodness to just be there, and your heart is going to break a million times over and over and over again for Koa. And then that's a different feeling because it's like breaking for her when they start growing up and life starts happening, like, and we're still figuring all of that out. But it's so amazing. I'm so excited for you, and I'm happy that we got to connect before she's here. And yeah, just can't wait to see you and Jordan become parents. I know you're going to be really, really amazing, and I know that you're probably really sick of talking at this point, and I'm gonna let you go. I already was like, I don't want to keep her too long because I know like how hard it is to talk for this long. So
well, I'm a professional yapper. I could go on and on and on and on and on, but
I felt like it got to the point where I couldn't breathe though, or like just eating like one bite. I remember being like, I can't do this, like, and I know I'm catching you at the end here. So
I woke up with a cold about 2 weeks ago. So now I'm like congested and COVID. I had COVID 5 times. So I already lost my breath while talking. So now I'll be in the middle of a consultation with someone. And you would think that I am a 3-pack a day smoker. I'm like,
oh my goodness. Well, you don't like, you're killing it, crushing it. Like I said, just a light in this world. And I'm so thankful for you. So can't wait for everything that's coming next, and just can't wait to follow up. We need to do a follow-up episode when the classes and everything are happening again, and just see how everything changes. And I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you. I'm so glad that ABS brought us together. I'm sad that I won't be part of it this year, but I will absolutely be watching for all of your interviews and everyone's outfits. Gosh, you would think that I'm like a fashion person because that's one of the biggest things that I look forward to. I'm like, what is everyone wearing? Who wear it best? Like, I can't wait for your outfits. I can't wait for their outfits. I can't wait for the hair. I seriously, such FOMO. I'm so excited for all of you. I hope that you have so much fun and learn all that you can and meet so many new bright faces of our industry's future. And I'll see y'all next year.
Can't wait, Siiri. All right. Bye.